evening, everyone. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It means it's time for the Get Wrecked LCS 2020 Spring Split Platinum Capped Lunari Division to get underway. I am Vid, and this is Asami. He is a new OU caster. Regular plug for the OU Esports Club. Thank you for them providing our wonderful shoutcasters. And, well, how you doing, Asami? This is your first day on cast.
Well, I'm doing a lot better than past weeks have been, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But, rough first week, but getting into this, gonna make my day much better.
Plus, we've all been sick all week because that's what happens during the 5th week of the semester. But we do have some Lunari action for you. Our first game of the day is going to be the White Knights versus the Booty Tang Gang.
Well, this is gonna be interesting to say the least. Don't know how to really talk about either team. It is gonna be, my first time ever seeing these guys, so gonna be looking forward to it.
Yeah, so let's get into the game and see how this shakes out. So on the blue side, we do have the White Knights, full of returning favorites from the GRLCS. We've got Toe Knuckles in the top lane playing Rumble, Godzilla in the jungle on Jarvan the Fourth, Celercia in the mid lane on Syndra, and the bot lane, Warge Knight and Paladin on Caitlyn and Zillion.
Yep, and on the Booty Tang game, we got tank players LOL on Ornn. We have Farjad in the jungle with Olaf. We got XSI on Silas in the mid. And in the bot lane, we have Dirty Audacity on Misfortune and Dr. Swiggy Wiggy on Nautilus.
Dr. Siggy Wiggy. Dr. Siggy Wiggy, Dirty Audacity, both of them are long-running players in the GRLCS. And I'm not sure. Oh, I think XSI also is, but I cannot put my finger on where he's from. And I cannot remember if this is game 1 or game 2, but, yeah, whoever's watching, someone let me know, because I don't remember.
And here we already have some action going on as Paladin already being forced to flash. There's a heal from Caitlyn, but it's not going to save him. First blood going to Misfortune already.
And it's only a flash traded as well. Dirty Audacity flashed forward for that last auto attack onto Paladin. Warge Knight burned the heal. So for Olaf, this should be pretty easy ganking early if he decides to go that route. Oh yes, this is the first game of the evening being streamed.
Oof. Trying to actually get that away, but Olaf not gonna have it stolen away. And there's gonna be some counter jungling also by Jarvan, taking away that red buff.
Looks like we are going to do a little bit of that vertical jungling. We always see that in invades just because neither jungler wants to get 3 buffed. So usually the blue side jungler will go up to the red buff, and the red side jungler will just start on the red buff and then go across. Interesting to see, though, that Farjad did opt to take the Raptors, and there was no vision for the side of the White Knights to see him doing that. So Godzilla looks like he will be down a kill.
Yeah, and oh, we already have a flash coming out from Dr. Siggy Wiggy, trying to get Warge Knight maybe a kill, but not gonna be able to do it. Flash expended by Siggy Wiggy.
The flash and the ignite, so that is both summoners for that Nautilus. Interesting to see what's going to happen there, because of course Nautilus can Spider-Man his way away from ganks, and that is something that Godzilla, if he opts to go into the bot lane, you want to get the flashless guy, or you want to get Dirty Audacity's flash, but when Dr. Siggy Wiggy can just dredge line away, that might be a little bit of a deterrent.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of one, but for Nautilus, not going to be really all that scary unless you get in front of that dredge line to stop them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not quite yet, at least. And it's like actually getting a good trade-off there.
Really good trade. Of course, Silas not going to do that much early, especially against a Syndra with all of those ranged, the ranged harass from the balls, the stun, everything. XSI is going to have a pretty hard time unless he takes extended trades, and we saw there he got some Conquer stacks up on him and then came back in, but wow.
Farja having to flash away there. If he didn't, he would have killed the flash.
And he also lost the Scuttle Crab there, lost the Smite fight against Godzilla, or I guess Godzilla just got it, but it might Godzilla might actually be getting both Scuttle Crabs here, and that pretty much makes up for Farjad getting the Raptor camp earlier on.
Yeah, so, we actually have Olaf going into the mid lane, but was spotted out on vision, so won't be getting much out of there. Dredgeline does come out, and Paladin's gonna get caught once again. Well, Paladin actually doesn't know he will speed himself up, but it's gonna be a very good trade in that bot lane.
And Paladin's out of mana too, so he's gonna need to start eating those biscuits. He's gonna chug both of them down. I suppose you chug biscuits. He's gonna crunch both of them down, and he should be back to about 50% health. Each of them gets 15% missing health and mana, plus the extra mana and natural regen. Look at that. He's just about a 50-50.
Yeah, and luckily for him, he also has Flash coming up pretty soon, so he will not have to worry about getting killed, quite possibly, as here comes Godzilla, just peeking up, just saying hello, gotta be it.
And, of course, Godzilla hasn't been doing all that much aside from forcing away Farjad's Flash in that early game with his bot lane. Early missing that Flash, it is going to be harder to try and go for engages there, but tank players, lol, playing Ornn, a little bit of a ironic name.
I feel like it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory going on here.
Ooh, wow, look at that.
Actually going to go ahead and take that dragon uncontested. They're pretty nice dragon to have in your pockets early on, I would say.
Yeah, just as everyone's starting to hit 6, looks like all 4 solo laners are at 5, getting close, so... Yep, Toe Knuckles just hit 6, so I assume we'll be seeing the rest of them getting that very soon. Second dragon's gonna be Infernal.
Yeah, and you see Exite going to take a pretty good trade there. Very nice trade, actually. And gonna hit that level 6, so just gonna have to back away. You want to respect that Silas once he gets that 6, he can still do damage. And
yeah, that's a very smart play by Exocide going in for that quick skirmish there, getting Celercia down to about half health, forcing her to use another potion. And look at that, because she's not 6, he can still abuse her.
Yeah, he actually was able to force him away, make sure that there was no experience going over to Celercia. So, very good by Exocide there.
If he can keep prolonging this, it will mean that he can try and get some kind of kill pressure on Celercia. I'm not sure if can you steal the enemy's ultimate if the enemy doesn't have ult yet?
I believe you can. Doing some Earth, that did happen to me, and gotta admit,
unfortunate.
Not the fun times when you're playing with like a Lucian or something like that, and you just keep getting riddled down.
But we did actually see part of Exocide getting that early trade off before Celercia hit 6, or the 2 early trades rather. She full comboed him after he misstepped a little bit, and that would have meant that he probably would have died right there if she had been 6. Unfortunately for Celercia,
wow, that flash was very key there. If he was caught by that flag and drag, it would have spelt disaster for his life.
And that looked really close too, was the thing for me. I saw that, I was like, holy crap, he didn't flash, but then he barely did. But something interesting we're seeing on the top side of the map, the early lane swap from Paladin and Warge Knight, they're going to use the Ornn Horn coming out from Ornn.
Yeah, Call of the Fortune is actually going to be used there as they're going straight onto Warge Knight, trying to get this kill. There's the heal used, but Farjad going to secure that kill, going on to Paladin, and Exocide going to be killed in the mid lane as we see double kill going to Farjad as TP used by Toe Knuckles.
Immaculately executed gank there,
and another kill happening in that top lane. Paladin will get that kill onto Farjad, but tank player low, going to secure the kill on Rumble as well.
So a ridiculously good gank, as I was saying. Godzilla was not there in time. Warge Knight and Paladin, both of them pretty squishy, and both of them very susceptible to that Ornn Horn. They don't have any repositions other than the 90 caliber net and the flashes. Both of them were used, and Farjad came in, just burned down Warge Knight before Toe Knuckles' teleport could finish, and by the time Godzilla got there, Farjad dueled him and then killed him. And then Toe Knuckles, of course, he tried to chase after tank player's lull, didn't get the kill, finally picked it up onto Farjad, but it ended up being a 3-for-1, and then the bot lane of Pootie Tang Gang got all of that turret pressure because Toe Knuckles expended his teleport.
Yeah, and the flag and drag not going to be happening as it's going to be Farjad securing the kill onto Godzilla.
Ooh, it was a little
flash there.
Little aggressive. Actually, from the team tag, I can tell Farjad played in the GRLCS before. Unnecessary Roughness was one of our summer teams from last year, I think. So, yeah, UXR, that was them, so Farjad must be one of the old Unnecessary Roughness guys. So welcome back, and a pretty good welcome back considering he is 3, 1, and 2 already, and maybe with a 4th in the way.
Yep, and Tono was actually going to flash away there. College Vortex did hit, however, nothing will happen as the flash is safe. And a lot of things going on in that bot side now. As there is going to be vision on both Solercia and Godzilla.
Wait, how does... Okay, never mind. Dillinger just winking. He says, we don't know Farjad. I'm like, how? He has the Unnecessary Roughness tag, but current kill score is 5-2 in favor of Pootie Tang Gang, and they're about 2,500 gold in the lead with the Infernal Drake coming up in just a second here, and both teams have positioned basically everything they have around it, and tank player's lull has his teleport available, so he can come in if need be. Dr. Siggy is taking a lot of damage with the Infernal Drake.
Dr. Siggy actually was caught in that Dragon Pit too, gonna flash out of there. And there's the Equalizer coming out from Exocide. There is the Cataclysm, and a beautiful ulti as well by Turdy Audacity. And you see Caitlyn was resurrected there. Solercia is going to be killed. And there is the ace by the Pootie Tang Gang.
It is an ace for just the two. Farjad and Siggy Wiggy both went down, and I thought that wasn't going to go as well for Pootie Tang Gang as it did in the end, because Exercise Equalizer stolen from Toe Knuckles wasn't great. It wasn't in front, it was actually a little bit behind, so he only caught 1 or 2 people in it, but it ended up paying off, and Toe Knuckles Equalizer, I have to say, was much better than Exercise. I mean, that's what you get when you steal it. I mean, you're not gonna have this good one. But then the Siggy Wiggy depth charge into the bullet time caught 2, knocked both of them up. Warge Knight and Solercia, I believe it was, and they just ate the entire bullet time.
Yeah, they were caught in that bullet time by that the
depth charge.
Yeah, depth charge from Dr. Siggy Wiggy. And that just spelled disaster for the 2 bot laners there.
So it was 2,500 and the 1 dragon lead. Now it's about a 4,000 gold lead, and they have both the Cloud Drake for the lowered ultimate CDR and the Infernal.
Yeah, and Toe Knuckles is just gonna get riddled down. Farjad just putting an exclamation point saying, "Don't come back to this lane."
This is no longer your lane, and that's certainly going to be true as 3 members plus the Rift Herald look like they're going to take down 4 and possibly the 5th turret fight here.
Yeah, that's going to be the tower going down for the Pootie Tang Gang.
It's going to take forever, thanks to Bulwark, but...
Yeah, it might take forever, but at least they're going to get it down.
They're going to get it, stretch that to a 6,000 gold lead, and the first turret lead as well. Warge Knight caught.
Yep, and the bullet time gonna be used again, but Warge Knight actually going to be able to get away there. But Calling Fortune being used there, as we see, it's actually gonna be Godzilla taking down the tank players. But at what cost? That there is the Cataclysm coming out from Exocide. Exocide actually coming in, saving Farjad, but the Equalizer is still going to get him down. And there's the flash, there's the heal, and it's just going to be Misfortune just saying, my kills.
Misfortune cleaning up the end of that fight, and Farjad lived for so much longer than White Knight seemed to be expecting because of all of the lifesteal built into Olaf's kit. He lived through the fight with Godzilla and Toe Knuckles, which meant that Toe Knuckles was caught pretty much by surprise there. Celercia just going to execute the tower. Oh, actually executed the tower. Siggy didn't damage her.
Yeah, actually able to use one of her abilities. Forgive me, I can't remember it.
The one that pushes him away. Kept him away. He wasn't in range.
Yeah, just pushed him away. Just said, "Don't touch me. I don't want to give you any gold.
Don't touch me. This gold is for the tower."
This tower's going to be more of an MVP, okay?
And, well, I mean, this isn't looking good for White Knights. There's almost 7,000 gold down at just under 15 minutes into the game. And really, this is a ridiculously strong Misfortune. She cleaned up all of those kills at the end of the fight, both at the dragon and around that blue buff.
Yeah.
Godzilla is my boy. Be gentle with him. Will do, Dillinger. But it's not looking good for White Knights. I mean, they came in, looked like they had a pretty good game plan, but they got outmatched early. They had the early kill, or the early flash off of Paladin, the early flash from Toe Knuckles, and Exocide playing the lane really well against Celercia and making sure that she didn't have any sort of kill pressure early. And then then Silas got to steal all of these important team fighting ultimates, like the Equalizer, mainly the Equalizer.
Yeah, and there's the bullet time just going to be used to clear out the wave. Yes.
Oh. They spot the Olaf.
Yep, Olaf is spotted there as there's called the Force God as Celercia actually going to be saved there, but in saving Celercia, you make your Caitlyn executed. It is a bloodbath. Once again, ace on the side of Fruity Tank.
And again, we see Farjad living so much longer than he had any right to, just because he is an 8-4 Olaf. He's way far ahead, all of the lifesteal, and he had an ignite on him, and he was still healing more than the enemy team could deal. And as you said, they went to go save Celercia, and in doing so, completely exposed Warge Knight. And that kills your DPS. Your Burst has currently used her stopwatch in an attempt to save her own life, and now you've got an Olaf that won't die against no DPS. A Rumble that is now 1 in 5, alongside the Jarvan that's 1 in 5. White Knights just doesn't have the damage to deal with Booty Tank Gang, and specifically the Olaf.
Yeah, and especially now, like, you're looking at this Misfortune. 7, 0, and 4. That is quite terrifying. But also, if, say, the Caitlyn, or, say, Warge Knight or Celercia, they get that shutdown on either Misfortune or onto Silas, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, White Knights does have a path back into this game, but it is all through Burden of Execution, and there we go!
And there's the Dragon steal. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go ahead and say, that was worth it.
Yeah, that's an all chat hashtag worth right there. Godzilla trading his 1 in 5 self for a Mountain Drake, keeping his opponents from Mountain Soul. That's pretty much universally good.
Yeah, and
but of course, they're still behind.
Yes. And actually, I do want to say something, because we see Jarvan actually gonna go, seems like the Cinder Hulk build, or from what it seems like, it looks like Cinder Hulk to me.
Yeah, that's a Cinder Hulk.
So, getting these Mountain Drakes for the Jarvan is gonna be pretty nice, but if this Jarvan can't get tanky really fast, then what's the point?
Ooh.
And, Stopwatch actually going to save Wiggy, but not for long. Warge Knight actually gonna get the kill.
Yeah, Warge Knight picking up his 3rd kill of the game. So this is good, Siggy Wiggy stepped out of position and got caught for it, paid the price. He is not, he's only got his Gargoyle Stoneplate, and while Stoneplate is a really good item, it's not good enough to save you from 4 members of the team, and wow, flash forward by Celercia.
Yeah, and, the Gromp helping out there. What a traitor.
Gromp betrays Exocide, and I don't think he was getting out of there anyways, but definitely the icing on top, so White Knight's gonna get 2 picks in quick succession, but once again, they're still super far behind, so they cannot stop Dirty Audacity Farjad tank players from taking this inner turret, stretching it to a 6-0 tower.
Yeah, and the one thing that did suck right there is that Silas obviously gonna give that bounty over to White Knights, which feels bad. However, thankfully, not misfortune. And not only that, it's an unforced error on the side of Booty Tang Gang. Just Olaf wanting to see if he can get a pick onto Godzilla. That doesn't happen, and you see X-Fight already coming down, but the whole team's there. So,
it's just kind of slip-ups by Pootie Tang Gang. It's not like White Knights is forcing these, they're not forcing picks or anything. They're just kind of finding what's being handed to them. And of course, there's something to be said for that, because a lot of times you see teams be like tossed an easy kill, and they say, we're not sure if we want that because this might be a bait, playing scared or whatever. But I would like to see White Knights try and fight at least a little bit over this Baron that's coming up soon. They can win fights with a good pick, I think. But obviously there's a 11,000 gold lead, but they have to be able to win a fight, because if they can't win a fight, they might as well just FF here.
Yeah, so in my eyes, one of the best ways that you can easily get a fight, one is if you take out that misfortune. 8-0-4, and is absolutely dreadful to try and get to. And Godzilla actually gonna try get away here, gonna flash away, and that'll be two ultis on the side of everything.
Yeah, and two of the most important team fighting ultimate. It's Dr. Siggy-Wiggy's Depth Charge and the Call of the Forge God. So they can't engage fights, but XSI actually is sitting on an equalizer right now. So if he has that still available by the time the Pootie Tang Gang tries to start up this Baron, he could just zone off the enemy team and keep them from even walking forward. Because if they walk over this is a 1.5 item, halfway stacked Dark Seal Silas. He could just keep all by himself. And there we go. That's the equalizer.
That is the equalizer, and that is Celercia just gonna be taken down. Toad Knuckles also taken down. Double kill over to the Silas and to Pootie Tang Gang.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. White Knights had the vision all there, but they weren't expecting the equalizer to still be available, and they weren't expecting the equalizer to be more than enough to just, take Celercia down to combo. And now, in a 3v5, White Knights has no chance here, so this is going to be a free Baron for the side of the Pootie Tang Gang, unless Godzilla can make the Godzilla play happen. He has to be supersized for this one.
Yeah, and as you see, they are making sure that they have on him. X-Side just tracking him at this point as well. Making sure there's no way, and Godzilla will go in, but he will be taken down as fast as he went in there.
Yeah, he was a little late and didn't have any control wards, so unfortunately for him, it does mean that he's going to go in just about a second late, and he's going to pay the ultimate price for it. And now, the Pootie Tang Gang walking it down for Dragon 3, and it does not look like the White Knights can do anything about it. Again, they're missing their jungler, so it's a free third Drake.
Yeah, and one of the things that is obviously extremely feels bad if you're gonna be Godzilla is that you notice that the one way to get in is taken away from you by XSI, and immediately XSI actually going to make sure that everything is used there. 10 players low will end up getting the kill there. There are 4 people taking down 1 man, and they will get the shutdown, going straight over to the Rumble.
All five players on the side of White Knights participated in that kill against Silas. That was a 2v5 that tank players, LOL, and XSI walked out with a kill. They got it 1 for 1 in a 2v5. And that's just off of great equalizer there, trapping Paladin and forcing him to use the ultimate on himself. Then it meant that Silas could turn onto Orange Knight, and that was when the Ornhorn came out, knocked up the Caitlyn, and it is going to mean that missing their ADC, they don't have any wave clear, and Pootie Tang Gang can go for this inhibitor.
Yeah, and this is just, it's kind of unraveling slowly by itself now. It seemed like quite possibly they could easily get back into this game. However, now it's getting much harder to come back in.
And it's not being helped at all by the Ornn items. level 14, that's 2 ally items and 2 of his own items that Ornn can upgrade. And so he has done that. You see the Molten Edge. Oh, actually, he's only done that on one member.
Yeah, he's only done that on one member. But Farjad going in, just taking out everyone. And there's the bullet time coming in. There's the Dredge line. Miss Fortune going to get the kill. Rumble's taken down.
Whoa.
That is some massive damage going out on the side of Dirty Audacity. And
Dirty Audacity, please heal up.
they're just trying to get more kills now from what it seems. Dirty Audacity actually going to take down someone on his way out too. This.
Yeah. I mean, Celercia pressed the outplay button there, and there's not really anything you can do about that when you're a half-health Misfortune. But he still managed to kill Celercia while he was doing it.
Yeah, and Exocide just regen all of his health so quickly there, but not going to be able to do anything when you have a trap right under your feet.
So the Pootie gang not going to be able to finish it off here. Dirty Audacity getting a little bit audacious there. He went forward and tried to go for the kills in the fountain, but his team didn't have the DPS to finish off both of those towers. In fact, neither of them is down, but I don't think it's going to be any stretch to say that the Pootie gang can just finish this on the next push.
Yeah, as you see, like as you pointed out earlier, we have the Masterwork items are starting to come in now. We have the Sunfire Cape, we have the Abyssal Mask. They're already having the evolutions to them from Ornn, and then Molten Edge, obviously, on Misfortune. And I'm pretty sure that's what did most of the damage, too, along with just critting. So that is one scared Fortune with a bounty on her still.
Yeah, she got the 1,000 gold shutdown off and still has 900 gold more to give. That is what happens when you are 12 or 11-0 before you die, and then pick up a kill on your way out. So Pootie gang is gonna regroup to take this top inhibitor. You know, they want to be thorough about this, and I feel like this shouldn't need to be said, but it does. Thank you, Pootie gang, for with an Ornn on your team actually buying items that can be upgraded. I didn't think I'd ever have to say this, but you actually have better item sense than LCS players. I think it was week 1, an LCS team picked Ornn and built one Ornn item.
You are correct on that. Week 1, I believe, there was just an Ornn who couldn't do anything at all with his upgrades. So he's just there, just being a plain tank, which is nice and all, but you're not able to upgrade.
And of course there's a fight going on, but it's not so much a fight as it is a shooting gallery for the Pootie gang. They're going to take down the White Knights in 27 minutes in week 1 of the Lunari Conference.
Yeah, and that was just a really strong game being played by Pootie gang, making sure once they got that lead, they just kept it going.
Yeah, and this isn't at all like an indictment of the White Knights' play. They actually did play the early game fairly well, aside from, I mean, like Paladin getting caught there early in that invade. That's just kind of unfortunate. You should be able to see that coming a little bit because they've got the Silas, they've got the Olaf, and they've got the Nautilus, but like Paladin having to flash there early really wasn't any skin off of the White Knight's back. It was just really good drafting and really good play from the side of Pootie gang. Farjad just being unstoppable in the jungle there.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to point out about that early flash is that they had vision. They had seen all 5 members were down there. So for Paladin to just walk up there kind of seems like he didn't have to really do that. You already knew they were there. And with having only you and your ADC in that bot jungle, how much is going to happen? You're not going to be able to fend off against 4 people.
Yeah. So, White Knights ends up 0-1 after week 1. Pootie gang rises to 1-0, but that is only game 1 of the 3 that we have today. I believe game 2 is Return of the Middle Sticks versus Kings of Baron. So we'll be back in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere because we're about to be right back. Piercing Light is like one of my favorites.
Such a good song.
Alright, so we just saw Pootie Tang Gang just absolutely dominating the White Knights. And so for our next game in the Lunari Conference, as you can probably guess from the chat spam, it is Return of the Middlesticks versus the Kings of Baron themselves.
And to be honest, I keep on hearing this great things from Return of the Middlesticks no matter what. To be honest, I'm quite interested.
Well, it helps that they do have 3 teams, so if one of them does something good, you're going to hear about it and think, Return of the Middlesticks is good. So would you like to introduce our blue side?
I would love to. On Kings of Baron, we have my name, Dave, as Kled in the top lane. We have Syrian on Olaf in the jungle. Tall X-Guy in the mid lane as Oriana. And there is already action going on. First blood going over to King of Baron as that'll be Oriana picking up the kill. And before I was interrupted by this brawl, we have Winnosaurus on Senna and Dogmar on Nautilus in the bottom.
Alright, so on the red side, the team that lost first blood, we have Liposuction Lane in the top lane on Akali, Dr. Wildy, who lost his life in the jungle on Trundle, Winged Nation in the mid lane on Diana, and the bot lane, Otso and Black Salt on Aphelios and Leona. So Aphelios. I haven't casted an Aphelios game yet. I'm guessing you haven't casted an Aphelios game yet.
I have not. I've actually only seen the casters from all LCS, LEC, LPL, LCK, and to be honest, I'm just as clueless as they are still.
Yeah, it's really telling for champion clarity when the play-by-play and color casters for professional leagues just end the fight with. Honestly, I'm really not sure what Aphelios just did there aside from damage.
Yeah, every time I've seen something like that, it's always one thing I'm hearing, which is, well, I'll be honest, Aphelios, he just does damage. That is the most I can say.
He does damage and a bunch of other things, probably, but I can't tell you what those things are because we can't tell what he's doing.
So I do know one thing with his rifle that apparently he just has infinite range with it if he does land the ulti. I think it's
His
Moon? Is it Moonlight Vigil?
So his ultimate is Moonlight Vigil, and so his abilities his Q and his ultimate, when he has his rifle, mark the target, and this is patch 10.2 by the way. I screwed up, and in the schedule, I forgot, because I forgot it was a patch week, I forgot to put the pre-patch games first. But so, this is 10.2, so his rifle still does the auto attack and consumes the mark at infinite range, but we got a gank here from Siren.
Yes, Siren coming in here. He's actually going to try do something here. Not much going to happen. Not even a flash fuse on the side of something. As Tiny Dave's actually going to take some damage. I keep on saying, actually, I got to stop saying that though.
But so, Dr. Wildy did come up for the return gank, which did help. My name Dave had to get away. He got knocked off of Scarl by Liposuction Lane as the Akali was making his way out. And he should be able to get back up. It's pretty easy to at early levels because Akali just doesn't have the kill pressure on you yet.
Yeah, and so as you said, he's gonna easily get Kled back. It's gonna be, or Scarl back. It's gonna be, just get it back.
I want a reverse Kled. I want a reverse Annie, but I want reverse Kled, where Kled is just wearing like scaly bits, and then he's carrying Scarl on top of him.
That would be great to see where he just has them on him and it's just going extremely fast. Just comes charging in, you just see him waddle with his ulti.
Legendary skin where like it's all Scarl doing the voice lines instead of Kled.
I could only imagine how that would be like
Horrific. It would be horrific.
Try to voice Kled as Scarl. Just hear whatever the noise Scarl makes.
I've actually never played Kled before, so I don't know what kind of noises Scarl makes. But what's important is that for the charge sound, because they've already changed the charge sound to like be different things, like Count Caligula, different. Oh, little bit of a fight.
Yeah, and Bible section
wow.
lane actually trying to take that fight, but that is not a fight you want to take. My name Dave doing some damage.
Violent Tendencies does a lot of damage. It's one of his probably most overlooked abilities, just because it doesn't do anything. It's just a passive, but it does so much damage that people tend to just die after they like get Kled into mini Kled, and they're like, oh yeah, this should be easy, but then they lose because he's like doing a billion damage really fast.
Yeah, he's a violent dude. He wants to just keep on fighting no matter what.
Yeah, even if he's at a disadvantage, he still actually kind of has the advantage, because I think his W passive resets when he gets off, which is why people underestimate it so much. They forget that like it just does a bunch of damage once he gets off. So Liposuction Lane did have to teleport back. Meanwhile, My Name Dave is walking, so that teleport advantage will be to the blue team.
Yeah, that's going to be TP advantage there. And as you saw in the bot lane, they're trying to set up a gank there. But I don't think the gank's going to really happen. As you see, Atsa and Leona playing really far back, making sure nothing happens. They're not being spotted, but because how much time was spent there, that's going to be Dragon given over.
Yeah, that was a huge benefit to Return to the Middle Sticks. They had the deep ward there in that bush down there right next to the alcove, so they were able to see Cyrene coming through. He did the sneaky alcove trick where he goes into the bush and then runs around once the minions were out of vision. He could go through the alcove, which is something that, it's funny. A lot of people, it doesn't reset. Okay, then no one gets an auto attack range of Kled before they pop this thing. That's just, it's just no one gets in auto attack range of Kled before they pop his Scarl, because it seems like every time people fight Kled and try and go for the kill. Speaking of fighting Kled and going for the kill,
yeah, that's gonna be 2 OTs expended there as Wing Nation gonna try and get away there. But I don't think Wing Nation's gonna be able to. But he's trying to turn the fight around, but will not be able to. That's going to be a kill given over to Syrian.
Yep, tall guy. Almost went down, but Wing Nation just didn't have... He has the Catalyst first, going for the Rod of Ages scaling build, so he didn't have the damage. I think if that had been like a Blasting Wand, you know, going for the other half of the Rod of Ages, it might have been able to get him. But, of course, hindsight's 20/20, so there was no way that Wing Nation would have known that. And he's just going to give his life and his ultimate.
Yeah, and also, you know, just getting caught out by that Orianna Shockwave. Also having My Name Dave coming from behind with the charge. This is going to be
I'm sorry.
quite hard.
It's pronounced charge!
You're
You
right.
have to get all 17 A's in there. I think it actually is. It might be 14.
It's a certain amount of A's.
It is a number of A's greater than 10, and just like last game, we're actually going to see this really interesting lane swap happen, where the bot lane of Return to the Middle Sticks is going to head up to the top, or Rift Herald control.
Yeah,
oh,
and
right, that's why they did it.
yeah, because this all started with the other regions. Obviously, they want to switch out to have their ADCs up there, make sure that they can get that Herald first. First Herald is pretty nice, and you also have a chance to get that second Herald, which is even better.
And I believe you said it started in the other regions. It originated in NA. Clutch with the 10-minute Baron.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it started last season before the Rift Herald changed.
Yeah, it started with having, you know, Huni and CG. I just remember Huni being like
Huni and then Cody's son coming up to the top lane to get the Herald, but they started it. It didn't go so well for them because everyone knew that they were doing it, but now it has basically become who can reset first.
Yep. And that is going to be a lot of damage coming out as he is picked off from that Q that Asa had sent out, taking him off the Scar, immediately getting solar flared, and then having the pillar come behind him.
Whoa.
And there's the dredge line coming in, and now this is a fight that you don't want to take. Oh. Shockwave almost pulling in Black Salt. I don't know if that would have been able to kill. I think it might have, but nonetheless, no kill being given over. But that's Shockwave.
Yeah, Kings of Baron with a very good disengage there by Tall Guy using the Shockwave to keep away Return to the Middle Sticks. They were almost able to pick up Dogmar, and that was a very aggressive re-engage by Kings of Baron. Dogmar going in, flashing forward with the depth charge for Otso, and then they had Dr. Wildy and Wing Nation coming up from the mid lane, so it was aggressive, and I'm not sure it was entirely warranted, but now it is going to mean that 5 men strong, we're going to get some plates up here in the top lane, and Return to the Middle Sticks will be forced to back.
Yeah, that's going to be a TP spent there as well, wanting to get that first tower just taken down, but to be honest, I don't know if using that TP was the best resource, because now you kind of give TP advantage over to Return up.
Yeah, it seemed like Kings of Baron was really trying to push their advantage there in the top lane while Return of the Middle Sticks was still resetting, because Return of the Middle Sticks did do like a half reset where they left everyone but Wing Nation and Liposuction lane up in the top lane. So Kings of Baron seized that moment and they went for the tower, but they weren't able to finish off as much as I think they thought they could, and they kind of ended up regretting it because they committed the teleport to just getting an extra turret play. Now Black Salt is catching My Name Dave's ultimate.
Yeah, and My Name Dave is caught in a bad place now, and he will be finished off by Otso. There's the Shockwave!
Oh.
Massive Shockwave coming in from the Orianna, but it'll be... Oh, Liposuction lane actually trying to get a kill here, but will not be able to. That'll be Tall Guy finishing it off, and the absolute, just like beautiful Shockwave by the Orianna.
Yeah, that was massive. It looked like, so they did pick My Name Dave really well. Black Salt sitting in the bush, intercepted the charge, and they picked him off with Wildy and Otso. Then Cyrane and Tall Guy came in, and it turned into a 3v3. Plus then Tall Guy got the huge ultimate off onto Otso, and I think it was Otso and Wildy killed Wildy, and it ended up turning the fight for them. And then when Liposuction lane came back in to try and assassinate Cyrane, he did get Dogmar, but when he went for Cyrane, great flash over the wall, keeping Lipo away from him, and it did mean that Kings of Baron came out on top of this fight, and they might come out on top with a pick here.
Yeah, for Wing Nation will be able to get away as they immediately decided to kind of just say, we don't know where they are, we're not going to risk it.
Yeah, Wing Nation, I mean, he could have died. He could have died if Kings of Baron had committed, but that was a smart, safe play. They might feel behind, maybe, because Kings of Baron have been a little bit behind this entire game. They are down in turret plates, I believe. Yeah, they're down in turret plates, so they might feel behind, so they didn't want to push that, which is the safe play because they were basically even at that point. And, oh, maybe they found a pick on the Wildy.
Yeah, Wildy's saving himself there, as Otso will be able to save himself with what's his ability? His
Moonlight Vigil.
Yeah, with the Moonlight Vigil, and also having his whatever they're called, just the lifesteal weapon.
Yeah, it's that one is Crescendo. Yeah, the lifesteal is Crescendo, but yeah, that was a great solar flare there by Black Salt. Otso almost went down, but Tall Guy wasn't able to quite finish it off just because Otso had all of the lifesteal from Crescendo. So they are going to end up getting themselves the first tower, about a 2k gold lead, even though they lost Liposuction lane. And I just want to highlight Dr. Wildy's pillar there in the jungle. He almost got picked, and he put the pillar right there in front of 2 members of Kings of Baron, and it actually stopped Cyrane dead in his tracks, and it looked like he was just kind of continuing to click onto Wildy, but his character model was stuck there, so he couldn't move. So that was a really, really good pillar.
Yeah, that pillar was a key pillar. I think it personally, I think it saved him there. And there is the ulti coming out from Senna. I think possibly thinking that a death might have been happening, or could have been getting a kill there, but
yeah, I think that was a little bit of miscommunication. You know, Cyrene looked like he was gonna commit there for Wildy, and then they saw the rest of Return of the Middle Sticks walking out. So Windosaurus, obviously there's cast time on that, so he probably just hit the ult a little early, and Cyrene did the smart thing, backed off. And it does mean that there might be a little bit of a tussle over the second Herald.
Yeah, and this is going to be a little terrifying for the triple solar flare coming in, and if you are the Kings of Baron, you are immediately wondering, what in the world did we get baited into?
Another great Black Salt play, just body blocking the charge. All three of the people from Kings of Baron that ran onto Black Salt just immediately get Solar Flare. Then Otso with the Moonlight Vigil, I believe that was even the Inferno Moonlight Vigil. So it did the extra splash damage onto all three of them. And that was basically all she wrote. Tall Guy got a pretty good shockwave off, but he's not nearly fed enough for it to have that much of a game-turning presence. And then Wing Nation got to finish off, or, you know, get supplemental damage in there with his Moonfall. But really, Otso now 5-0 and 3. Very similar scoreline to the Misfortune last game.
Very similar. And this is, once again, very terrifying as Aphelios so much damage.
Aphelios, as we all know, Aphelios does damage and a bunch of other things, but mostly damage. And now he's got his red buff. He can go back, sitting on currently 2,000 gold, so that's going to be his, I'm guessing, Infinity Edge? Oh, wait, no. Infinity Edge has a 2,200 combined cost out of Pickaxe. So he does get all of the components for Infinity Edge, and now the Dragon in 15 seconds. This is another Mountain Rift, so looks like Return of the Middle Sticks is gonna go for that.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I don't know, because for both teams, it's so just either can go either way, and there's gonna be Dogmar just getting executed by the whole, or by 4 men there. And you see the power of that extra little wall in front of the mountain. It meant that Dogmar got walled in by the pillar, and he couldn't do anything about it. So Otso did just give up Infernum. So any team fight is not going to have the Infernum damage. Black Salt. Okay. Black Salt able to get away, making sure that Syrian had no way of getting that dragon.
Yep, just went over the wall to keep him from going in if you can lock him down that whole time. And it is going to mean a second dragon into the pockets of Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and for Trundle, having this mountain dragon must feel pretty nice if you're this Trundle. And okay, there we go. Bible Section Lane able to get the blue buff as well.
All right, so now there are no objectives on the map, so I'm interested to see what Return of the Middle Sticks does to push their lead, even if it's just Liposuction Lane trying to 2v1.
Yeah, Liposuction Lane really wanting to get the kill onto Windosaurus there, but Dogmar also showing up and then having the Black Mist gonna make it where trying to get the kills just a little tough.
I think, yeah, little tough. For an underfed Akali, I mean, he is 3-2-1, but that is only a 1-item Akali. You haven't hit your power spike, and you just, I mean, he's underfarmed. It's 18 minutes, he's got 93 CS. Wow, everyone in this game is underfarmed. Holy crap. That explains why no one's doing any damage.
Yeah, and now his Liposuction Lane's turn to get turned onto, but there's a TP coming in from Winged Nation, making sure nothing crazy happens. But now it's just an all-out brawl as they're going to flash over to kill Dr. Wily, but Dr. Wily's fast. And Serene will end up getting the kill though. And spending 2 flashes to kill Dr. Wily, you do get the kill onto Trundle. Wait, in the end, you also leave 2 of the assassins alive.
Yeah, that was a double flash there for Wildy. Of course, Wildy expended his own flash, and most of the time you think like one flash for a kill is worth it, and especially on the jungler. But in this case, there are no objectives on the map that the jungler can contest, so it might be a little bit more important since Kings of Baron is still a bit behind. They might need a flash for My Name Dave, they might need a flash for Cyrene, especially if they want to do something like a cheeky Baron steal or like a cheeky pick onto Otso or something. So we'll have to see if that ends up panning out, of course. But for now, I would say worth until it isn't.
Yes. If you can secure a kill and you have no one on your side dying, I would say pretty worth.
Pretty much worth. It's just if you get into a position where you say I really needed that flash, that is suddenly you're reevaluating. But again, it's another hindsight thing. No one can predict what exactly is going to happen in the next 5 minutes, and we're already over a quarter of that down.
Yeah, and so now we see here that Aphelios, he has completed the IE, and now I'm curious, is he going to go with the Rune? I think Rune is pretty nice.
Oh!
And, whoa, tall legs guy, he fails the flash.
But that was the cheekiest. Like, Wing Nation was waiting behind the wolves, so when Tall Guy walked forward, he saw the wolves, and he was like, yep, just some wolves here. And that's when Diana said, no, these are werewolves, because it's the full moon, bitches.
Yes. Diana immediately just saying, you may have thought it was just the wolves, but trust me, it's a lot more. And they're going onto the field now, who has the Inferno Moonlight Vigil. And that'll be all she wrote for that Olaf live section lane, taking out My Name Dave. And that is a game that just immediately just gets turned on its head because it's Aphelios, he has Inferno, he has the Moonlight Vigil.
And this is a very fed Aphelios as well. They thought that they could go for it, but with the Moonlight Vigil up and with the supporting teleport in by Liposuction lane, it meant that it was a 3v3 instead of a 3v2, and when one of those three is a ridiculously fed 2-item Aphelios, it is going to mean that Return of the Middle Sticks gets a 3-for-0 here and Inner Turret.
Yeah, and it's also just Black Soul every time getting in front of the charge by My Name Dave. If I am Return of the Middle Sticks, if we could give MVP, I'd give my MVP a Mirror Black. Black Salt's been playing out of his mind.
Black Salt has just been playing so smart, where Kings of Baron drafted basically full engage. They have Nautilus, they have a ball delivery system on the Kled, they have Kled, first of all, and then they have Cyrene on Olaf. They are a run at you and beat your face in team. Black Salt playing frontline Leona instead of diving. They have a lot of engage themselves with Wing Nation Leona and a Moonlight Vigil, but when you're facing this much engage versus that much engage, Black Salt is really doing the smart thing here and saving the ass of his teammates by keeping himself in harm's way so that they aren't.
Yeah, and it's insane to think that you could get in harm's way so many times and still be deathless. You're 0-13 and your Aphelios is 7-0-6. You would think, oh, this Aphelios is playing out of his mind.
Yes, there is a way to turn the mic a bit. Sorry, we turned that down last week because it was, or we turned that down earlier this week because we weren't sick then. We were a lot louder at the beginning of the week. But so with Baron up, that third dragon having gone down for the side of Return of the Middle Sticks, and yeah, I mean Baron's up, they're on Soul Point, and Otso has finished his rune answer. So
yeah, and now this is where it gets a lot more intimidating in my opinion to play against this Aphelios because he has the rune answer, he has so much damage right there, and My Name Dave using the ulti there to get away, but oh, that was a very nice, perfect execution into their puck. Oh, the Scarl coming back at the last second, forgetting that you can't leave this behind. But at the same time, you gain the attention of 3 members, and now you can go for the Baron.
Yeah, liposuction lane sacrificing himself to pull 3-member bot, but wow.
Again, another great shockwave, but no one to follow. You only have your tank, you only have Dogmar there, and they're now turning onto the rest of the team as Felix, he's still alive. Dr. Wildy's still alive. It's going to be just hard to get in there, try and kill the rest of them. However, you stop the Baron, and that is worth it.
Yeah, Kings of Baron, after they lost that early engage, Tall Guy, again, as you said, great shockwave, pretty much perfect. Caught all 3 caught 2 main carries and Dr. Wildy. But unfortunately, he again had no follow-up. Cyrene didn't have a way to get in there. And Lipo.
Lipo really wanting to take out My Name Dave, and Otso just deciding, hey, I want to keep my perfect. Oh, he had perfect KDA, but
I mean, yeah. Still has perfect KDA, 10:06. Otso with the other kill, got another on Windosaurus, and that is going to be the Baron started up. Wing Nation teleports into the top side to provide that flank, and Cyrene is not even going to go for the hero steal because there's a Diana tactically inting his way to Baron.
Yeah, that is a tactical int there.
And that is, yes, that is true. Thank you, Wing Nation, for pointing it out. Dr. Wildy didn't have Smite, so that actually was a 100% tactical int.
That was, and that is a smart.
Yeah,
that was very
making
smart.
the hero play there, honestly, you know, having to expend both of your summoners to ensure that your team gets Baron, I mean, that's kind of a get down, Mr. President.
Yeah.
So, highlighting his message, thank you for the channel points. I don't know what they actually do, but thank you for the channel points. Don't enable Wing Nation.
Oh, is the mic so low?
Okay. Well, actually, I'll just... Sorry, we're, experiencing some low mic difficulties. There you go. Let us know if that's any better, but for now, 56 seconds until the final, potentially the final dragon. We're on Soul Point for Return of the Middle Sticks. I don't know what that is. We're on Soul Point for Return of the Middle Sticks, and Kings of Baron is currently 10,000 gold down.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say it's a Wave Nation just giving that smug little smirk over to Otso.
All right. So 2 items plus boots on Windosaurus. Meanwhile, Otso is 3.5 items plus boots. So I think we can see which carry is going to be a little more important.
Yeah, and Dogmar is going onto also, but it's only you. You don't have anyone else there, as there's a Moonlight Vigil. Oh!
That just melted Cyrene!
I'm sorry? Can you run that by me again, Aphelios? What did you just do?
Yeah, we don't have replay functionality, but if we did, we'd need to slow it down to frame by frame to see how that Infernum just melted the Olaf.
I think it was the Inferno Moonlight Vigil with the splash damage going out.
It looked like it bounced, yeah, it just bounced back and forth from Cyrene to My Name Dave, and then just pop. There he goes. The Olaf dead. Soul Point. Yeah. Return to the Middle Sticks picks up the soul, and looks like they're gonna try and go for the end. I'm not sure if they can.
I don't think they can, but they are trying to kill him, and the
Oh.
shutdown goes over to the Nautilus. I guess you can still do AP carry not, but
That just feels bad.
that is. But they are able to save their Nexus from going down.
I swear, guys, I didn't plan this when I picked the games, but this is like poetry. One team ridiculously far ahead, gets a game-ending objective, and then just throws some of it away at the Nexus turrets. The ADC, who's been massively carrying, dies. You can't make this up.
You really can't. And Wing Nation gonna bring down Tall X guy, and now taking on My Name Dave. Who will win the historic 1v1? If I'm to be honest here, I think Wing Nation could still take him.
I think Wing Nation can take him as soon as he gets his cooldowns and the soul back. There we go.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And
Never
you can't
mind.
take him on now when you got the whole squad moving up to you.
The Goon Squad is here. They do take down Wing Nation. And that's not like that was like a crazy fed, that wasn't a crazy fed 2v1. Wing Nation was 1-3 at the time. So that was just him like outplaying Tall Guy and My Name Dave there, but you can't win when Dogmar shows up with the rest of the Goon Squad and says, no, you cannot kill our top laner.
Yeah, Dogmar just popping up saying, hey, remember me? I killed your ADC. Now I'm gonna kill you as well.
Hello, it is I, Nautilus, the God Killer. So it's still a 10,000 gold lead thanks to that 1,000 gold in the pocket of the Nautilus. There are better places for that to be, but I think at this point Kings of Baron is going to take anything they can get.
Yeah, and I'm 100% sure that obviously Nautilus did not want to take that at all. It might have been his shielding, possibly, that did do that damage.
Yeah, the shield damage over time. I know I've taken my fair share of kills and gotten missing pinged repeatedly for it.
Yeah, every time I played Nautilus, I'm kind of just wanted to play him in the mid lane, and that was a good fight, but Window Surge in the back lane, and it is a bloodbath going on here. Window Surge will get taken out. Aphelios taken down as well now, but when you have a liposuction lane in the back taking out your ADC, your main two carries actually, and then Dogmar also there, that is just going to spell the end.
Oh, Dogmar does say that he wanted that kill, but at this point, Return to the Middle Sticks is pushing into the base. I think they can just end it here. No one except for My Name Dave is alive on the enemy team for another 10 seconds, and I don't think My Name Dave is in any shape to be 4v1ing.
Yeah, and even though the Toronto may have trolled Aphelios there with a pillar, it would not matter. My Name Dave will still get taken to that base, or to that back home, and just like that, game over.
And that is going to be Return to the Middle Stick taking it over Kings of Baron. Congratulations to them. Massive play by Otso, but even more importantly, Black Salt just being an absolute immovable wall against Kings of Baron's engage.
Yeah, that is a... I mean, at the end of the day, you have a 1-1-21 Leona, a 13-2-9 Aphelios. Those two are absolutely terrifying. But the minute you decide to just start turning your attention onto one guy, then you leave your ADC wide open to two assassins in Diana and Akali. That's just rough.
And that last team fight, we didn't get to recap it because the game ended right after that, but Black Salt throwing the Solar Flare down was actually a kind of a sneaky play there. He throws the Solar Flare down and Windosaurus immediately flashes out in order to avoid getting caught by it. But what they didn't know for Kings of Baron was that Liposuction Lane was waiting right behind him to jump right on top of him, kill him. He killed Tall Guy right after that, and then it was basically a 4v3. And even though Siren took down Otso, he did give his life for it, and that just meant that Return to the Middle Sticks wiped that team fight pretty effortlessly. So congratulations, Return to the Middle Sticks, 1-0. Better luck next week, Kings of Baron, and we will be right back with our final game of the evening. And I can't remember what it is, so let's check it out. It is, Revenge of the Mosher versus Goliath Esports Lions. So let's see how the Return to the Middle Sticks copycats do in this next game. We'll be right back. welcome back. What was the last game? Return to the Middle Sticks, Kings of Baron. A short-term memory loss here, but you know what? Without further ado, let's just get into our final game of the day. It is Goliath Esports Lions versus Revenge of the Mosher.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this. Another Kled, and hopefully this Kled has a better chance to shine this time.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Bricks. Yeah, Bricks could, do the old Leona thing and completely block every single Kled engage. But before we start talking about the team fight matchups, why don't we talk about the rosters?
Yeah, so on the blue side we have TTV Broly Bro on Cho'Gath, and in jungle we have Kimchi for You has Jarvan. We have Raised Code, my bad, as Lucian in the mid lane, or Asirium as Ezreal in the bot lane, and we have three. Okay, I think
Bricks.
it's Bricks.
It's just Bricks.
Bricks as a support in the bot lane as well.
I think that might be a Lucian top, the Huni special.
Ooh.
But meanwhile, Revenge of the Mosher on the red side. We've got iClutch in the top lane on Kled, Seismic in the jungle on Olaf, Chris Can't Miss in the mid lane on Malzahar, and in the bot lane, Biscuit Titchbit and Spoon Crush on Misfortune and Nami. I do love Biscuit Titchbit's name. It always makes me happy to come back from off season and just get to say the name Biscuit Titchbit.
It's very, very close to saying something that don't know how many people
Yes.
react.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you get that name right.
Yeah, so and all respect to him, I'm gonna call him just Biscuit.
Yeah.
So,
That's the same play.
yeah, and we do have the Looney special in the top lane, and we have Broly Bro and Cho'Gath.
Yeah, that is the Huni special in the top lane and the Leslie Campoy special in the mid lane. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the GRLCS scene, Leslie Campoy is, I don't think he's on a team. Well, he's his Durkee now in general chat, but I don't think he's on a team. But he was known for. Wait, did Spoon Crush take Targons?
Wait.
That's a Nami with Targons.
Oh.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. Not sure what he's going for, but I respect it.
I mean, if it works, it works. Like,
Yeah, I hope it works, because that'd be kind of nuts.
yeah, imagine being in the bot lane, having that end. It doesn't work out. The amount of
Imagine the amount of salt that you get, probably from your teammates, because that's kind of how Chris and the boys like to roll.
just having some fun in some norms or some ranked, and just see in the chat, imagine taking Targons on Nami.
Yeah, but if they win, if they win the lane off of this, I guarantee you the bot lane is going to be spamming not taking shield on Nami 2K19 or 2K20. Oh crap. 2K20.
Yeah, and that is a very nice flash by Chris Can't Miss. Make sure he doesn't get put up into that whole just being juggled.
Yeah, the good old, the bounce house, basically. Get knocked up by the flag and drag, get knocked up by the Cho'Gath, you're silenced, and then you're just dead.
Yeah, so I think that's a great flash there, but also now leaves him with the opportunity of getting ganked once again. So he does have to play a little more careful.
Yep. And Kimchi for You did gank pretty, smartly, intelligently.
Ooh. Raised Code having to flash away there just to make sure that he did not end up getting any more damage that he could.
Yep. So, what was I saying? Oh, the smart gank there by Kimchi for You. He didn't just flag and drag immediately. He flagged and then went for the drag. It was there's a very small difference, but that small difference can mean the difference between getting the knockup onto the Malzahar and not, because his spell shield didn't pop fast enough.
Yeah. And there's the Raised Code actually taking a really good trade there, getting Kled off of Scarl. Of course, he loves to fight. He's gonna charge at you.
Yep, and iClutch,
Oh,
trouble.
Raised Code going in and say, I love to fight too. getting the ignite and just making sure he can secure the kill.
And the Lucian top is a really good pick into Kled. He has the low-cost, reliable dash, which does make it a lot easier to get out of the bear trap on a rope. Kled does really well into bruisers that like to stick on you because he can, he's a little bit better at sticking. He does well into heal up champs as well, like Fiora, or even like Cho'Gath, something like that, where the grievous wounds that he gets is going to keep you from healing and sustaining the way that you want to.
Yeah. So immediately having Lucian into someone like that is going to make it much easier, especially because Lucian, he's just so mobile. He just can get away from any situation.
And especially once you get your Bilgewater Cutlass.
Yes. And that'll just make it much harder to try and go onto the Lucian. Just wondering, why won't he just stand still?
Just, damn it, stand still so I can kill you. But iClutch is probably not going to get that opportunity, even though he does still have flash advantage. So that is potentially something that he could exploit to his advantage. You make sure, maybe get Raise Cold's dash out and then, jump on him with the flash.
Yes.
For the bear trap on the rope.
Yep. And as you see, they are wanting to do a gank onto Raise Cold once again. And to be honest, this actually might work here, but they're not able to get to him in time. And in fact, iClutch just getting taken off of Carl there. And so this actually works out extremely well for Raise Cold, who can just come back in lane not as terrified as he was prior. Especially because the positioning just didn't work.
Yeah, and iClutch did go in a little bit early, which meant that Seismic didn't get on top of him early. Obviously, Raise Cold still doesn't have that flash, and he expended the Relentless Pursuit a little bit early, early in the context of a gank, but since iClutch was a little bit ahead of the curve there, he was not able to turn that into a kill.
Yeah. And then, honestly, iClutch, he's fine with being taken off of Skarl, especially when he gets Skarl coming up so fast. That is where things are going to get interesting as we now see Olaf moving to that top side once again. Seems like he's waiting for iClutch to get Skarl back so then he can immediately ulti in. And we see it's going to come up soon.
Hopefully it should come up soon, but for now, yeah, it might actually take too long for it to be worth Seismic's time. Also because Raise Cold potentially could go for something under the turret. Apparently not.
Nope, that will not be happening, as the minute Raise Cold got to that tower, they immediately said, alright, that's enough waiting, let's go ahead and take him out.
They wanted to wait for Kled to get it back, to get Skarl back, but then they realized Raise Cold wasn't going to let him get close enough. So they started the engage early, and just can't miss getting a good trade-off on the Broly Bro.
Yeah, and Broly Bro, obviously, he's just not really caring all too much. He just wants to make sure that he can have his team get that dragon.
Yep, zoning the Malzahar off of the dragon, making sure that since Seismic was top lane, they do have a free, they have the free pass to go for that dragon. And now it is going to be the dragon lead, even though there's about 400 gold difference for Revenge of the Motion. Ooh.
Yeah, and I see here, really wanting to kind of get that first plating. However, once with Ezreal coming back, they decide to go against that, not having any vision anywhere else.
Yeah, just crashing the minions, denying the CS. At this point, you don't have... Oh! Damn. Yeah, that BF sword, the BF sword double up. It's not as scary as lethality, Caitlyn, or misfortune. Jeez. But it is still going to do a bit of a chunk, and it's gonna happen again.
Oh. And that is a lot of damage going on to Arthurium there, as he's just gonna go ahead and recall. That's the safer play, in my opinion, is go ahead and recall. So then.
Yep. I wonder. Yep, he just picked up his Sheen, and so that is mini power spike for him. Of course, you, as an Ezreal, you would love to be back with enough gold to get both of them at the same time, or not have to do it so abruptly after getting back to lane. But you'll have to take what you can get. You'd rather give up a little bit of lane pressure than give up your life.
Yeah, and you want to just say that Drake's actually... Well, never mind on that, because they're going straight back to Raise Cold, who's going to flash away, but he actually might end up still dying if they do decide to tower dive. And they're not going to. They're just going to go ahead and say, all right, we got the flash, we got the ulti. Go ahead and just go back.
Off, yeah. So they did have the... this is Platinum A Conference. So this is Revenge of the Mosher versus Goliath Esports Lions. What was I saying? Oh, they actually kind of were equipped to tower dive. They had iClutch with the Kled, so he could, jump in, drop aggro with Scarl. But I think it was a little bit risky since iClutch didn't one auto attack. Oh.
Well, it doesn't matter because iClutch just decides that he wants to have that solo kill. And
Kled's a greedy little guy, ain't he?
Very greedy, and the greed might cost them here. And and ooh, that is some nasty damage coming out. And that little Bumblebee just there saying, "Not today."
Not today. Oh, okay. They did pause, but that was a really interesting. They hit the bubble onto Ethereum, and then immediately went for the fight here.
Yeah, they're going for a fight here, as that'll be the Broly Bro getting the kill there, as Tyson will end up getting another kill, and iClutch getting Scarl back. They're going to just brawl it out, but will anything come out from it? No, iClutch will not be able to. Wait, will he get out of the way? No, he won't. That'll be Bricks giving him a good old slam at the door, saying, "You cannot get away."
Yeah, he says, hey, can I just get out through this opening? And Brick says no, and he shuts the door on him. But so that is Chris Can't Miss going to be teleporting back, but that was a 3-for-1. Revenge of the Mosher did take down Kimchi for You, which keeps the Rift Herald on the map, but it does mean that they lose their top, their mid, and their jungler, and they did give away that 450 gold shutdown, although it went into the pocket of the Braum.
Yeah, and even though it does go into the pocket of Braum, still, that is still something that you'd like to see if you are on the side of the Lions. You just want to see people going down, making sure that they don't get hit.
Yeah, so, I mean, any kills are good kills here for Goliath Esports Lions, but they are basically even here in the gold lead, 200 gold, and that's, wards and potions, more or less. So the Rift Herald is up, the Cloud Dragon is up in a few seconds now, so let's see. It looks like Revenge of the Mosher is prioritizing the bot side, and the pings coming out from Goliath Esports looks like it's just going to be a trade of objectives.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and say, you can go ahead, take the Herald, but we're going to go ahead and take the Dragon as well.
And this is something that Goliath Esports Lions can do. They're going to trade away a dragon that they kind of already had, It's a dragon lead that they're just equalizing, and they'd rather get half a turret of pressure, although they might not be able to get plates this early. And wow!
That is the CC train immediately taking off, and that is just a great ultimate being used by Chris Can't Miss, and immediately being followed up by Boon.
And this is a great play by Revenge of the Mosher, because they deny the first turret gold for the Goliath Esports Lions. Even though Goliath Esports Lions does get all of these plates and a top lane turret, and they're probably going to get another charge as well, they lose that first turret gold. And if Revenge of the Mosher, the rotate up, and Goliath Esports Lions seeing them go away, it is going to mean that they do not get a second turret off of this. Meanwhile, iClutch
kind of stepping up just a little ahead.
Looked like he might be trying to stop the backs or something, force them away, but he doesn't start a fight.
Yeah, and honestly, not starting a fight there is, in my opinion, the best thing to do there, since you have their whole squad there and immediately things could go haywire.
And not to mention, Revenge of the Mosher had just used 3 high-priority teamfight ultimates on Ethereum in the bot lane, so they didn't have any of those 3 up for it, which, you know, would have put a little bit of a damper on their team fight.
Yeah, especially with that misfortune ulti. The bullet time, so good to have, especially with the tsunami is coming in, taking out everyone, and Chris can't miss his ulti, being extremely well.
So again, it's, you know, 500 gold either way, and this game is pretty much dead even, which is something that we haven't seen in the last couple of games. The other 2 games went very much the same way: early leads, early dragon leads, and then the bot lane of one team getting way ahead of the other. So
yeah, it was just get a lead, keep that lead up. It's game already. But this was pretty even out, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like anyone's been throwing leads back and forth. It is that neither team can seem to get a tangible like benefit here. So it might actually go until late game here, where suddenly Cho'Gath is going to be just this tanky monster. Ezreal is going to get up to his, you know, close to full build, and Misfortune's going to be hitting like a truck.
Yeah, and obviously Ezreal, no matter what, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. It looks like he's going to try and build, from what it seems like,
Manamune first.
Yeah, Manamune first, and then, I don't know how I feel about the Manamune. I think, personally, Trinity Force is the way to go.
I like Manamune first, but first we've got Raised Cold.
Yeah, Raised Cold going in there, immediately getting both of them to just chase after him, and J-Force just peeking out saying, "Forgot about me?"
And it does mean that Seismic and iClutch both going to die, so that is Raised Cold Kimchi for you. Great top jungle duo, and they're going to win that 2v2, so they do take 2 more members of Revenge of the Mosher off the map, and it looks like they might get this turret as well. But so as I was saying about the Manamune, I think in this team comp, where Lucian is like early game DPS, he's more than enough early game DPS for things like objective duels. I think this does give Ezreal a good enough time to scale up, build the Manamune first, and then get the scaling on his side, then get the Trinity Force. Whereas if they were further behind, for example, or if they didn't have Lucian and they maybe had, I don't know, some kind of scaling top, or a split pusher, then that's where I'd say definitely go Triforce first, because that's just more damage up front.
As you're saying, there's the Sheen onto Ezreal, but he's going to go ahead and go into Triforce from what it looks like.
Yeah, and I think the Sheen is enough damage just to keep you relevant early. It's not necessarily the ball of stats that Triforce grants you, but I think it's good enough for him.
Yeah.
For now.
Well,
if he puts it off until 3rd item, then we might have problems.
Yeah, and it looked like they were trying to play just a little bit of death push there, seeing if anyone would come in early. Nothing like that happening. That's this is a team fight that is just breaking out, but their whole team immediately caught into the bullet time, and Raised Cold is going to be caught there. He's done, and just like that, it's going to be Revenge of the Mosher with the ace.
Yeah, Chris can't miss, sacking himself so that they could lock down Broly Bro. Really one of the only guys that you need to be worried about in a team fight. Being able to get a big rupture could just turn, just could end it for you. But they got rid of Ethereum and Bricks pretty early on in that fight. The charge coming in from iClutch did mean that they jumped onto Braum first, got him down. He used the Glacial Fissure, but it didn't knock anyone up because iClutch was the guy that it hit. And since he can't be stopped while he's in his ultimate, it meant that was basically a wasted ability, because then the fight transitioned, kind of migrated downward and outside of that path of the Glacial Fissure. So a 5-for-1, and even though Goliath Esports Lions get their hands on the Mountain Drake, it is a huge win there and a 3k gold lead for Revenge of the Mosher.
Yeah, and not only that, but you also have 2 people caught in that bullet time, and that bullet time it hurts. And I think everyone who's played against Misfortune will always say, yeah, that bullet time is why we usually don't want to see Misfortune.
Yeah, it's if Misfortune manages to catch you in a corridor, like again, where the Mountain Drake pit comes in handy. People fight over Drakes so much more now, like during the Drake rather than before or after. And while they're fighting over this Drake, it means that having that block part of the pit there, it makes Tidal Wave and Bullet Time that much better.
Yeah, and I love seeing the Mountain Drake, the Mountain Dragon always be that final dragon that comes up, just because it can give either team leverage. Whenever you're behind them, it does suck. However, playing into it is always great, and Kimchi for you barely able to get away there. And if that Flying Dragon didn't actually connect, that would have been a life immediately given away.
And with the Baron on the map, that is a very important thing to consider, because, you know, once you lose your jungler, they do have a Cho'Gath smite, but Cho'Gath doesn't have any way to get into the pit like Jarvan does with his Flag and Drag. And, of course, Cho'Gath does not have his Flash as well. Chris can't miss. Ether Grasp, the outplay button.
Yep. And again, he doesn't miss there, and Chris can't miss going to make sure he gets another kill. That's the bot lane taken out, and just like that, they're going to immediately walk over to that Baron. I wonder if they're going to start it up now. I don't think they will, but if I'm them, I would have.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. Okay,
Okay,
they are going to go for it, yeah. I was going to say, I'm not actually sure why they're not already taking it. You know, Misfortune isn't, like, super good DPS the way that Lucian is, but, like, who needs it because the bot lane is dead.
Yeah, and then, you know, iClutch also there, making sure that no one's gonna try anything funny. Here's the ulti from Ethereum. However, ulti will hit nothing.
Yep, little bit too late to do anything, and I think what they were waiting for was to confirm that Cho'Gath wasn't, like, waiting in the wings trying to steal it. Obviously, that could just turn the game right back in Goliath Esports Lion's favor if he gets a really good chomp onto it. So now, it is 7-11, 6k gold lead for Revenge of the Mosher, and let's see what they can do with the dragon coming up in about 50 seconds.
Yeah, and, you know, it really just comes down to having Chris Can't Miss and Biscuit just alive and able to shred their whole team. You got those two alive. They are forced to immediately say, well, who do we want to take out first? Chris Can't Miss? Or do we want to take out Biscuit? Either way.
Oh no.
Oh, and he's gonna get stopped. And that's feels bad. That's one of those moments where you just type into the chat, man, you're so lucky I had 0.1 second left.
Yeah, I had 0.2 seconds instead of the 0.1 second where it will actually finish my back. But that's gotta feel bad for Ethereum, but it's gotta feel good for Revenge of the Mosher, because in 10 seconds, the Mountain Drake comes up, and barring a really good smite steal by Kimchi for you, Broly Bro is up in the top lane, so there's no chance for a feast steal here.
Yeah, but they are wanting to try and steal it, or at least make sure to stop it. And he goes in, but he's caught. There's the bullet time, and Bricks using the shield to save Raise Code's life there. And it seems like iClutch is wanting to go in for more, but he's the one who will fight more than he can chew. He goes down. Seismic almost goes down, but the team is right there in response, and it'll be the Lucian getting the shutdown gold from Misfortune. That's a pretty good gold going to the Lucian as well.
Yeah, I think Biscuit Titchbit thought that he could, get in there, go for the double up and kill Bricks and then walk away, but unfortunately, Raised Cold did get the auto follow there, and now Bricks is joined in death by Ethereum as the rest of Revenge of the Mosher managed to pick him up at the backside. Raised Cold is actually going on a magical journey through the blue side of Revenge of the Moshers, base, and looks like he's been found out, and
He
doesn't
has
matter,
been
Chris can't
found
miss.
out, and it's going to just be Chris can't miss, just giving him that little. I don't really know.
You know, just infects him with the malefic visions and gives him a little send off and sends him back to the fountain.
Yeah, it just says, all right, end to this journey. Just
Yeah.
go home already.
You've been running around for a little while. You must be tired. Here, let me put you down for a nice dirt nap.
And it's actually the Iceborne Gauntlet coming out on the Ezreal.
I think that's the smart call here. I mean, you're 0-5. You have to try and do something about that. And Raised Cold is 4-4. He's got the on-hit Fort Cleaver build, so he is going to be doing a fair amount of DPS. So I think at this point you can just provide crowd control for your team rather than going Triforce and maybe just dying more.
Yeah. And
It's not something that you'd like to do. It's just something that I think you have to do.
yeah, it's just something that's just like an unfortunate unfortunate turn of events just happens. It's like, oh well, I gotta take this build now.
Yeah, it's like at this point I'd be shooting myself in the kneecaps to try and keep going with the damage build.
Like that's like a 3K item that I gotta build up. Or I can just go ahead, get the Iceborne. Yes.
Yeah,
Iceborne.
would you rather put yourself behind more, or potentially, if you finish your build, if you're doing better? Wow.
That is a great flash ulti by Chris can't miss, and a great bullet time as well. That'll be another member of GEL going down.
And Chris can't miss. Might have got himself picked.
Yeah, this time they make sure that they actually hit him instead of them being hit.
Hit or miss. Guess I never miss. But Chris can't miss goes down. Brix loses his life, so it's a good trade for Goliath Esports Lions here, although they are still 7,000 gold behind. Nothing. A minute to the Baron. But for now, it just looks like, well, actually, there's not much for Revenge of the Mosher to get. They have almost all of the non-base turrets.
Yeah, and I would love to see what was going through the mind of Lions when they did decide having Cho'Gath come in. I do love having me a Cho'Gath in my team. However, to me, Cho'Gath hasn't really done much throughout the game. He's 2-1-3. Even though he's doing fine, he's just kind of there just to slow. He hasn't really been able to do much other than just slow him down.
I like the Cho'Gath. I like the Cho'Gath in the draft because he is tanky enough to, he's tanky enough to fight with Chris can't miss. He's not going to get one comboed by another grasp. He's tanky enough to deal with Biscuit. Because Biscuit isn't like trying to shred tanks. He's just trying to blow up squishies or burn down tanks with his ultimate. I like him in the draft. I liked how he was executed early in terms of like taking the early Rift Herald, getting 2 dragons. For how behind Goliath Esports Lions has been in the past couple of minutes here, you would expect them to have fallen behind in dragons. You would expect them to have fallen significantly behind earlier in the game, but they didn't, and I think that is, at least in part, to TTV Broly Bros Cho'Gath being able to zone. Meanwhile, iClutch.
Yeah, iClutch actually caught out there, and right as I start to badmouth Broly Bro does something great there, picking off iClutch, and now it's the Olaf's turn to get shredded, but there it is, and we'll go just a little far to the right. Dragon will be secured, and that will be it. And overall, that's just a dragon for kill.
Yeah, and if I am Revenge of the Mosher, again, I will take the dragon for this kill. They get themselves to soul point. iClutch, the value of split pushing at this point is pretty heavily diminished because there's not really that much on the map right now to take, and he's not strong enough to start threatening the base. So they can stall for the next 10 seconds until he's back alive, his teleport will almost be online, and they can threaten Baron.
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of just had a small bit of a caster's curse moment where the minute I start bad mouthing someone, well, Looks like I gotta eat my own words there.
See, that's the big brain where you start talking about how you'd like him to do something more, and I start talking about how much he's done. It's the 50-50 caster curse. Either way, one of us is cursed and one of us is a genius analyst.
Yeah, and turns out I came in with the wrong pair of clothing. I was immediately wrong with that.
Sitting there. But now, you might actually be right, but Broly Bro, all he does, as you said, just gets to play the slow game. Hits him with the Super Soaker and walks away.
Yeah, Super Soaker also gives them a little bit of a spook with the Twin Shadows and just decides to go back. He's gonna try and regen health maybe.
I mean, this is very much a utility Cho'Gath.
Oh yeah,
This is not the kind of guy, and I think that is the one downside here of this Cho'Gath. Like, he does a lot of damage still with the Feast, and he provides a lot of pick potential for his team with the Rupture, but it's really easy to itemize against them now because he's not building for damage. He's not like Rod Luden's Electrocute Cho'Gath that sometimes you see in the mid lane, where he's going for these solo kills onto the unsuspecting Malzahars.
Yeah, and honestly, having Broly Bro in that mid lane early on into Malzahar, it made perfect sense. With Malzahar, he's not going to try and just use his ulti onto Cho'Gath. That's kind of a waste of ulti, in my opinion.
Good pick, well executed. I think his supporting cast in the draft could have used like a Rumble or something. Rumble in the top lane rather than Lucian. Still does decently well into Kled and provides a lot of teamfight utility and teamfight damage, especially the AP-centric teamfight damage. But, you know, that's neither here nor there, because Revenge of the Mosher has just been dancing around the Baron for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they've kind of been trying to bait him, but the one thing that they don't know is that where they've been at both times has been warded. So they immediately know that they're not on it.
So now, seeing Olaf go back, it is going to mean the Goliath Esports Lions 5-man in here, but they might regret it.
Yeah, and there's the Clay coming in. There's the bullet time. And iClutch will slay Briggs as it'll be a... Oh, and okay, never mind then. As Kimchi kind of just going in there, just saying, go ahead, take me to the Death Realm.
And, oh, that's just unfortunate for Kimchi. I think he thought that they didn't have the Nether Grasp available, but he flashed in there, tried to get onto Chris Can't Miss, and Chris Can't Miss just hit the No You button and just pressed the outplay, and it is going to mean that base turrets are going to be taken. Broly Bro, the only one left on the Goliath Esports Lions.
Yeah, and not to try and, like, bash Kimchi, because I fully understand what he's trying to do there, but it just brings me back to the game that I saw this morning with KT and SKT. They had a Jarvan on their team, and this Jarvan, he goes straight in, trying to take out Aphelios. His whole team's at the base, and he's about 50 feet away from where anyone can get to. But that'll be the game, and that'll be Revenge of the Mosher picking up the win.
Yeah, so a great game there by Revenge of the Mosher. Got a little slow in the mid stages, and there were some places where they ended up trading suboptimally, or just, you know, trading in places that they didn't necessarily need to. But Goliath Esports Lions put up a hell of a fight, raised cold, Kimchi for you, doing what they could, Broly Bro getting on, you know, slow Gath duty, and it almost worked out for them, but in the end, the Mosher took the win today.
Yes, it took just one quick fight to immediately turn it around, and that just came when iClutch decided to come in from behind. You already had 4-man strong, and immediately, the minute they saw him walking up, something came in their mind and said, where's the Kled? And
Where's
immediately
the Kled?
Kled shows up.
And so that is going to be Revenge of the Mosher moving up to 1-0. Goliath Esports Lions dropping down to 0-1. So that is actually going to be it for the Lunari conference tonight. Tomorrow, you're going to be back, aren't you?
Yes, I will.
So it's going to be Asami and Rex Go Dragon taking the cast together on the Solari conference. So make sure to tune in and see what the B conference has in store for us in Platinum. But for now, that is going to be us. Thank you for watching. This has been the GRLCS Spring 2020 Lunari Conference Week 1. We love you. Good night. Awesome. Great.
Moving too fast, life is moving in slow-mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire, and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage. You know we ain't average. I ain't gonna say this again, but it's in my time. Better look in my eyes. I'm a genius in the skies with my heart on my sleeve. You force you a block to a king in his prime. Everybody got a line. Sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the nine. Was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah, shutting it down. Been in the ground, and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing, gold on my rank, royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go, 내게 놓은